Hi guys, it's Chris with City Girl Homestead, and it's Thankful Thursday. So, I actually know the subject that I want to talk about. I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about it, but I know the subject. I've been hearing it in my head, and today we're going to talk about fear. And so I want to read a scripture about fear. It's Isaiah 41:10. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will upload you with my righteous right hand. I guess I can't read today. God talks about fear 365 times in the Bible. So, with April 8th coming about, and I don't know if you guys watch your YouTube and Facebook and all that good stuff, and it's talking about, basically the end of times and all that stuff, and it's getting people upset. So, let's start out with a prayer, and then we're going to talk about that. And probably other stuff too. You know how I am. Heavenly Father, I thank you for blessing us and being here with us at this moment. I thank you for letting my son make it home safely and wrapping your arms around him. I thank you for all the people that you are touching right now, whether it's finances or health or whatever it happens to be. Thank you for touching their spirit, their soul, and their bodies, and letting them know that you're there and that you're always there and that you will always be there. You never abandon us. It's usually us doing that to you. I ask that you please keep wrapping your arms around the people from the people that were, maybe died in that accident that happened earlier this week in Maryland with the bridge collapse. I ask that you help us to rebuild that quickly so that those people can go back to work. There's so many things right now going on in this world, and it makes us worry about the end of times. But we know that you've got our hand and that you'll hold us no matter what happens, good or bad. We ask this all in Jesus' name. Amen. Sorry for the pause. I couldn't think of the word bridge. I'm having a moment. All right. So let's get started what we're going to do. Then we're going to talk. All right. So I'm going to make a blueberry cake today. Now I'm going to use a box of Angel Food Cake. And I'm going to put that in the bowl. I've already got my oven preheated to 350. And I've got my pan oiled. Now it asks for a full can of 21 ounces of blueberry pie filling. Well, I don't have blueberry pie filling other than the ones that I can. And this is 32 ounces, and I imagine because it's sunk down, it's probably about 30 ounces. So we're just going to kind of eyeball it and see what works. But look at my blueberry pie filling. Heaven in a jar. Heaven in a jar. Mine's a lot thicker than the ones we buy at the store, so I might be able to use the whole thing. And if not, we'll use it somehow, somewhere. Let's get that stirred in there. Did you ever notice those canned pie fillings? They're certainly a lot more watery than that. There's a lot of liquid, or a lot of powder still there. I'm making a mess. I think I'm just going to use my whole entire jar. Hopefully it turns out. If not, we have a whole bunch of blueberry slop. I guess there wouldn't be any other way to put it, right? Oh, that's stirring better. Much better. It's like I use that cherry pie filling from the Dollar Tree, and sometimes it feels like it's all just juice. It really doesn't seem like it's that pie filling at all. Oh, look at that color. Isn't that beautiful, you guys? Get that last bit mixed in there. And then you always got that little bit hiding on the bottom. And then you pour it out and you get, oh, white mixture. Nobody wants that. Alright. So let's pour this in our pan. Oh, look at that. Oh, so beautiful. Look at that purple. It's so pretty. Let's spread that evenly out here. Look at that. You guys gotta admit that's pretty. That is very pretty. Purple's my favorite color. So maybe that's why I think that. You know what? When I was younger, my favorite color was always blue. And I hated green. And when my daughter-in-law came into our life, my ex-daughter-in-law, her favorite color was green. And actually I began to get a love of green. And even my house, when we redid it, our siding is green. It's a pretty green, but it's green. I still got stuff on my hands. I tell ya. My poor towels. Anyway, so that goes in the oven for 30 to 35 minutes. I've been seeing all these end of time things, and I know that it's scaring people. And I know that we're worried, and I know that, like, there's the red cow thing and building a new church in Israel and all that stuff. And all that is so overwhelming. And then we have bridge collapses, and we have, you know, just, there's so many things, too numerous to even mention, that are going on right now in our lives. And I'm not just talking about American lives either. I mean, it's all over the world, different kinds of things. And is it possibly the end of time? Sure. What I don't like is people saying, well, you know, April 8th it's the beginning of the end and blah, 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 and whatever. So if you read your Bible, I'm just paraphrasing. I don't know the exact wording, but God said you wouldn't know the day or time. So these people that put that fear out there for everybody, you don't know. You don't know. You don't know when he's coming back. It could be tomorrow. It could be 100 years from now. You know, did I ever think I'd experience it in my lifetime? No. Am I wondering if I will now? Yes. And it's scary. It's very, very scary. But no matter what happens, whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, you know, during COVID, the first couple of weeks, I'm not going to lie, I was scared too. I live in Michigan, and they had us like so scared it wasn't even funny. We were washing our groceries, everything else, and I heard a song, and you can look it up, but Fear is a Liar. And it's not necessarily about COVID, it's about other things. But anyway, you know, I got to thinking about it, and I watched that video, and God doesn't want us to live in fear. That's not what he intended for us to do. He didn't tell us the time and the date because he wants us to live our lives. You know, we have freedom to speak and to do whatever we want to do. We just have to be able to face the consequences at the end. We have free will. But during COVID, I came to this conclusion, because I can't wear the masks. I really can't. I can't breathe. I cannot breathe with my lung issues. I just cannot breathe. And, you know, I said to Tom one day, I said, you know what? I'm done with this. And he goes, you're done with what? And I go, being afraid. And I said, God doesn't want us to do this. And he says, okay. And I said, you know what? There's 4 conclusions. And he says, what's that? And I said, you get it or you don't. You live or you die. Our days are picked. If you believe in God, your days are already set. From the moment that you were put inside your mom's womb, your final day was picked. So I decided that I wasn't going to let COVID or anything else, not that I don't get scared about stuff, because I do. I get it. You know, I think about the end of times and it's like, you know, my one son doesn't believe in God anymore and, you know, blah, 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 and what'll happen? And that's what scares me. Like, will we all get to go? Or will we be left behind? Will we get to go and somebody else gets left behind that we love? That's what scares me. And I don't like death either, so that's another thing. I hate death. Just never have. Yeah, I don't deal well with it. But anyway, you know, I know this is a downer, but don't let it be a downer. Let it be a reassurance of your faith. And if you don't believe in God, let it be a reassurance of human nature and what we can expect from one another. If we really are headed to bad times, it's time for us, whether we believe in God or not, to reach out to our neighbors, to reach out to people that we wouldn't normally do. Help those people that we wouldn't normally help. Get to know your neighbors. I remember back in the day, well, you know, when we lived on the farm, people were far away, but we still knew who they were. You know, in our neighborhood, we have an amazing neighborhood. We live in the ghetto, but all of our houses are nice. They're small. They're, you know, it's not an expensive neighborhood by any means, but we all know each other. We grew up together. We've watched each other's kids grow up, and, you know, in some cases, like I have grandkids now, and, you know, we've seen all of that. It's time for us to get back to that, and maybe that's what this fear is supposed to be. So if, let's say, something really bad does happen April 8th, do you know your neighbor? I mean, do you know your backyard neighbor, your side neighbor, whatever? Do you have friends that are close by that could help you? If you answered no to any of those questions, then you know what? We need to break the mold and we need to get outside of our house. Even if we sit on the porch, like, you know, Kelly lives next door and Crystal lives over there and then Norma lives over there. And when it's raining, like, and it's really nice, we go outside and we sit on our porch and we yell across to each other. Even if it's that. Because if times do go bad, you can't fix the world by yourself. You need help. So let's get back to those times where we were friends and neighbors and we knew each other. We're so afraid to come out and to get to know one another. That's one thing I liked about the homeless thing that me and AJ did. You know, I've done it 3 times now. And he, because he's innocent, he walks up to those people and he doesn't see a dirty person. He doesn't see a person that's not working. He doesn't see a person that's, you know, homeless. He doesn't see that there might be a drug addict or an alcoholic or whatever happens to be. He goes up and he offers them help. And when they talk to him, he talks back to them. And he listens. And I know he's only 5. But if a 5-year-old can do that, why can't we? I'm not saying go drag a homeless guy off the street and get to know him. I'm not saying that at all. But get to know your surroundings and who you... Like, I mean, shoot, if everything went bad, I think I'd want my neighbors. We joke about, you know, like... We'll go from house to house, whoever has the generator or whatever, you know, to get each other through. And you got to know you got that. You got some backing. But know that God's got your back too. I know this is some downer stuff today, right? But don't take it as that. Don't take it as that. That song, Fear is a Liar, it is so true. It is so true. It can be debilitating. It can be destructive. It can be so scary. But you know what? I mean, like, when we think about things like, oh my gosh, you know, you take a test in high school and you're like, if I don't pass this, you know, I can do this or that, whatever. And I remember I told you that story about my son, you know, how he believes in God now again. And, you know, because he got a good score and he got 1 point more than what he needed to be able to pass. Sometimes we get each other so revved up because of fear and the unknown that it brings us down and it makes us like shallow people. Today I'm going to say to you, you know, be joyful that it's today. It's not April 8th yet. Excuse me. We have one another. We have, even if nothing else, we have this community on YouTube. You know, look at those things as brightening things. Look at that as being, you know what? I'm done with fear today. I'm done with it controlling my life. It's not going to do it anymore. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to live life. Even if you're homebound, even if you can't go anywhere, you know what? You can still live life. Even if it's vicariously through other people or if it's through the internet or however you're living your life, let's do that. Let's not be afraid of whatever doomsday thing is coming across. Now, will I talk to you about prepping for SHTF? Absolutely. Do I think that we should do that for our families? When COVID came through, honestly, and the toilet paper situation, and, you know, like Tom's like, oh, you don't need all that, whatever. Well, he learned the hard way too, so he doesn't say anything now about anything that I stock up. And do I have a nice pantry? Yes, I do. Will I ever show it all off? No, I won't. But do I think that you should always be prepared? Yes, I do. And that's why part of Fun Friday has been preparedness and things like that, because we don't prepare just for SHTF. Everybody thinks we're crazy and like, oh my gosh, you guys are preparing for the end of the world. Well, maybe we are, but who cares? But sometimes you're preparing for, okay, for instance, Tom's been working Friday and Saturdays. So that really helps our paycheck, you know what I mean? So that we can help get through. Well, this week, because of the holiday, he won't be working Saturday. He was hoping for that side job, but the guy hasn't given the yes to it. And, you know, paying the federal and state and city wiped out our savings. You know, you never know. So, you know, maybe I'll have to do a couple weeks of pantry cooking because, you know, something will make up for that money that he lost during his, you know, not having overtime. Maybe someone got sick. Maybe, you know, when COVID, I mean, who wanted to go to the grocery store? You know what I mean? So if you didn't have food at your house, you'd have to go out and get it. And I'm just kidding, but you know what I mean? But it's preparedness. Let's say April 8th does happen. Be prepared. You know what I mean? If you haven't started it, start now. But be prepared, not just with food, but with the things that we've talked to you about on Fun Friday. You know, try to have a plan. I don't have a plan. I'll be honest with you. So people talk about bugging out. I'm like, where am I going to go? I'm sure if my car would start and I could drive. My brother lives like an hour and a half from here, and he lives out in the middle of nowhere, so I'm sure I could go there. I have an aunt up in Ithaca. You know what I mean? If we could get there. But you know, if everything that happens, like they say, oh, the EMP or whatever, honey, you ain't going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. Because all those, unless you got a real old car, because those new cars are not going to start. And you have no gas that can pump out anyway. So, gloom and doom, you know, you prep for today. You prep for tomorrow and next year. Don't just prep for, you know, oh my gosh, April 8th's coming and that world's going to end. Well, you know what? Maybe it will. You won't be around to know. But I want you to take positive things that, you know what? Let's say we are in the last week and a half of our lives. Do we really want to sit there and worry? Like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Nobody knows. It's the unknown. We don't know. Live your life. That's why God didn't tell you the date he's coming back. Well, I don't know if that's the case. You know what I mean? I'm just assuming that that's why he didn't tell us, because he wants you to live life. If you knew the exact day and moment that he'd be back, you'd be like, you know, and trying to be that ultimate person. So because you don't know those things, you don't know the date, you live life to the fullest and you live to be the best person that you can possibly be. That's not a Christian thing either. People get it twisted. They all think that, you know, when we talk like that, it's just based on Christian values. That's not it. You, like I tell people, even if you lived 100 years, it's a drop in the bucket considering how many thousands of years that this earth has been here and that we've been here. It's a drop in the bucket. I am just rambling on today. But anyways, we live here such a short time that even if you lived 100 years, it's really not that much. So, you know, and in the beginning, you know, you're dependent on everybody, and then you grow up, and then you're dependent on yourself, and you're taking care of others, and then you get old, and then you just get in pain, and life's miserable sometimes. That's just how it is. And I wobbled into the kitchen today, but, you know, that's life. I woke up breathing. So I have that to be thankful for. Even though I'm in pain, I woke up and I'm breathing. My husband woke up. As far as I know, my other kids did too. I haven't heard from them today, but my son came home. They get to see their dad today. You know, I mean, there's so many things to be thankful for. That do we really have time for fear? Because that fear eats us alive. It just eats us alive. And it allows control. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Well, not a bad one anyway. But fear is a good way to control us. Whether it's the government, whether it's your neighbors, your friends, your family, whatever. Fear is a good way to control people. Do you want to be controlled? I don't. I'm a Scorpio. That's the last thing that we want. AJ's one too, and he's kind of headstrong too. Can't imagine. But anyways. So I want positive to come out of this conversation today. I don't want you to be like, oh my gosh, it's doom and gloom and blue, blue, blue. No, it's not. Please don't take it that way. Just do you, boo. Live your life. Whether you're Christian, you're not Christian, you're whatever you are, you know something? Live your life. Be a good person. Love one another. Be good to one another. Live today like it was your last day. And I don't mean like party like it's 1999. I don't mean that. Today be thankful and grateful. Pick up that phone and call that person and tell them you love them. What if April 8th was really the last day? And you've been putting off calling Aunt Susie, and April 8th came and the world ended and you didn't get to say I love you. She didn't get to hear I love you. Because sometimes it's not just for you, it's for others too. Like I told my son, you know, I text you and you never say I love you back. And he goes, Mom. And I texted him last night, I love you, Rooney. And he didn't text back. But what he forgets is what happens if he didn't make it home. Or I didn't wake up. So live life to the fullest. Don't party like it's 1999 because it wasn't that great. I have a story for that someday, I'll tell you. You know, and live today. I mean, prepare for tomorrow. Prep for tomorrow. Be ready for tomorrow. Be ready for a year from now, 5 years from now, 15 years from now, 30 years from now. Hopefully I'm still here. But, you know, prep and be ready for those days. But live for today. And look up that song, Fear is a Liar. And take into account that, you know what, no matter what happens, if you believe, you've got God. If not, you've got your friends, you've got your family, you've got all kinds of people that love you. What is the greater thing in life than to be thankful for love? You know, you can think about all the horrible things that's happened to you in your lifetime. And some of them have been through a lot, and some have not. Some might be going through, some might be going through in the future. But you know one thing that really never ends? That's love. You know, they say that you can hear everything 7 minutes after you die. So can you imagine if when you die, someone is just sitting there saying, I love you. I really, really love you. So wherever they go after they die, whatever you believe, they carried something with them that was so incredible. They carried love with them. Love is the most powerful thing. We all think about money and you know, all those things. But without love, is any of it really worth it? You know, I love God more than anything. But boy, let me tell you, I've got such a great love for my kids and my grandkids and my husband and some of my family and just my YouTube family. Love is amazing. Doesn't have to be a hoo-hoo thing, you know what I mean? I'm sure that's great too, but you know, my assignment today is just love. Just love somebody. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that don't have it, and all they do is feel it through, you know, YouTube or whatever, because they're not able to get out. You know what? Type on somebody's page that you care about them or whatever it happens to be. You don't have to go out and go, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Sometimes words, anybody can say I love you, but it's the actions. So you know what? Maybe you don't want to go out and tell a bunch of homeless people today you love them. That's up to you. But you could at least acknowledge they're there and say hi. You know, if you got extra time or extra money or extra food, take them something to eat. You know, I don't have to wait till that twice a year to do stuff like that. So, you know, and everything doesn't have to be announced on what you do. You just go do it. Because it's the right thing to do. So I hope today wasn't just like, I just had this overwhelming thing since like 1:45 this morning about fear. And I keep seeing all this stuff on YouTube and Facebook and whatever. And please don't be fearful. That's what gets our anxiety up. And I suffer from panic and anxiety, so I understand that completely. It gets you scared. And matter of fact, I was a little bit nervous about the red cows or whatever. That my cousin, I haven't seen him probably 25 years. He wrote something below. And he's a believer as well. And I said, thank you for that. It kind of, you know, after you put it that way, you know, I feel a lot different. So that's a good thing. So anyways, I'm blubbering on as usual. You guys should be used to that by now, right? I didn't even make you coffee. Darn it. All right. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's huge. I might have done something wrong. Because it's like this much over the top. We'll see. I got to get a couple pineapples cut up too. Because, well, I ate the rest of the salad. So I guess we'll have some cottage cheese and fresh pineapple tonight for dinner with it. But anyways, I'll be back as soon as that's done. And I'm sorry if I took up so much of your time. I really am. I'm a blubbering idiot sometimes. Alright, I hope I didn't freak a bunch of people out. I'm sorry if I did. So I did 2 full pineapples. They had them at Kroger for 88 cents a pound, or 88 cents a pineapple. It's a pretty good deal. So I got 2 of them. All right. And I've been munching on it. All right, so here's our thing. I did poke it in the middle so that it would kind of shrink down because it was like way up here. So let's take a little bit out of there so we can try it. Yeah, that's an awful big piece. I'll be chewing it all day. Quality control. All right. Let's see. The blueberries are very hot in it. That is yummy. And 2 ingredients. And if you don't have home canned blueberry, you can always use canned blueberry from the store. I imagine you could do it with any flavor. But blueberry sounded really good to me. So I want to thank you guys for taking your time to sit with me. And I hope I didn't freak anybody out. I really do. I meant it for being good. And I hope that you took it that way. Thank you for being you. And I just know that things are good. And I appreciate everything you guys do. And know that when I say I love you, I really do mean it. My channel's growing. I've got people talking to me, you know, commenting, and it really makes my day. I hope you guys know that. You guys are amazing, and both my kids are home. That's a good thing. I told my daughter-in-law, and I started crying. I said, you just don't know when he's on the road, because he did get in an accident years ago. He had fallen asleep at the wheel, and it, like, totaled the car. And he was not hurt. But I just think about things like that, and, you know, I started crying. I go, I do worry about him. I worry about him a lot, you know. And we worry about our kids. We love them. We want them to be okay. So I didn't have the boys this morning. They just let the kids sleep in, which the kids needed that. They've been up so early every morning because they're here at 3 a.m. It makes for a very long day for them. And of course, they don't go to sleep for Grandma, but they fall asleep in the car on the way to daycare and then go back to sleep for her. Go figure. No. But anyways, thank you guys. I am so very, very thankful for you. And I appreciate each and every one of you. And I really do love each and every one of you. And we'll be back for supper, another TikTok. And I'm so excited about this one. I've been so excited about all of them. And next week we are going to do the Dollar Tree dinners. Hopefully I have the menu solidified. What we're going to do is start at the the Dollar Tree in Grand Ledge, and then there's another one, and then another one, and then we have one down here. So hopefully we can get all the products that we need, because, you know, some of the Dollar Trees are not as full as they should be. And I'm going to take Tom with me, and we're going to do a video on getting the stuff. The only thing I might not use that we can use our own spices in my thing, and I might use my own cheese. I'm not sure yet, but everything else will be from the Dollar Tree. So, thank you guys. I love you. See you at supper.